Paul Maurice and the Panthers have made multiple moves, and this is perfect heading into tonight's matchup against the Boston Bruins. I'll tell you what those moves are on the lines as well as on their special teams. And big Brad Marchand is back in Boston for his first game since being traded last season. How is he going to play? What kind of reception is he going to get? We're going to get at that in just a moment, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. You guys need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Well, the stage is set. It's a big game on ESPN. It's 7:30 tonight. Brad Marchand is back in Boston, but not in a Boston sweater. He's in a Florida Panthers sweater for the first time since being traded last season. And we're going to see what kind of reception he gets. I think it's going to be a warm one to begin with, and then a whole bunch of boos every time he ends up touching the puck when he's on the ice. And I think he's going to love it. I think he'll revel in it. And a lot of things that he has said about, going to dinner with some of the guys from the past and how he had to pay the check because they bullied him into it. But he thinks it's going to be such a great thing for him. It's going to be a lot of emotions on the ice. It's going to be physical. Blah, 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 all that. Same thing we see with a lot of guys who leave a team, go somewhere else, especially a heated rival, kind of like Patrick Kane. So this will be interesting to see what happens tonight. But let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Brad Marchand first to begin. So yeah, a lot of emotion. Brad Marchand's first game back in Boston as a visitor. So let's take a look at what he did in Boston when he was there. That asterisk is when he won the Stanley Cup with Boston back in 2010-2011. Great season for him, 41 points, but it was more about what he did in the postseason that made people turn their heads. And as you see, he got better as he was in Boston. Obviously, he became a captain later down in his career. This is not his whole tenure in Boston because I wanted to show you guys what he did in the postseason. Phenomenal year. Better, much, much better in the postseason than he was in the regular season. 19 points, 11 goals, 8 assists. But look at the very bottom there. I think last season was his best postseason of his career because look at that plus minus. It's plus 17. 10 goals, 10 assists in 23 games, 20 points overall. Yes, I know in 2018, 2019, 24 games, he had 23 points, 9 goals, and 14 assists, but his plus minus was at 0. Oh, sorry, is it 4 that season compared to plus 17 at the Panthers? You can argue whatever you want. I'll put it this way. They won the Stanley Cup. He had 20 points compared to 19 in 2010, 2011. I would say it was his best postseason of his career. He really helped the Cats win that one last season. So let's keep rocking and rolling, moving forward. I'm excited to see this game tonight because guess what? They have the exact same record. They're both started hot with 3 wins in a row, and then they dropped their next 4 games. So the teams are not really feeling it these last 4. The Panthers had 2 days off, which is great. They really needed the rest. Even head coach Paul Maurice has come out and said, yeah, we really needed the rest here, that reset and focus, as Bobrovsky had said. So let's hope that they are able to take it to this Boston Bruins team tonight, pull out the big W that they need, get back on track to their winning ways, and carry that back over into the homestand for the 4 games that they will have. And then they're on the West Coast road trip, which is not going to be an easy one. That travel is going to take its toll on them. And it's not an easy road for them. Not going to be an easy road while they're out there. They got some challenging matchups, especially with Vegas, who has been rolling so far this season. And just to get back to what some of you have said for some of your comments before I move forward from this, as you can see, tied at 6 points per team with the exact same win-loss records right now, played the same amount of games. You can see there the Cats with their differential for goals is not very good at -5, and Boston's at -1. They've been able to score more. Their offense has been clicking better than the Cats. We'll get into the lines and things like that in just a moment, but just to answer some of your guys' questions or more respond to some of your comments, I am not panicking. I am just merely stating, do the Cats do something now? Should they not? To spark a conversation. I am not panicking. Does it look like I'm panicking? No, I'm not freaking out like, oh my God, this is the worst start ever. In the last 2 seasons, they've had very similar starts. The only difference is they've been able to score more in the beginning of the season than they have so far. The last 2 seasons, very similar records, very similar in the point standings. in their first 7-8 games. I'm not that worried because guess what? In those 2 seasons, we won the Stanley Cup. So let's keep moving on. Anyway, so there is our matchup right there in the middle. The Florida Panthers are number 4, Boston Bruins number 5 in the Eastern Conference in the Atlantic Division right now. So let's keep on rolling. These are the lines for tonight. We got Verhaeghe, Bennett, and Reinhart on that first line. Luostarinen, Lundell, and Marchand are back together for the second line, not the third. So a little bit different, and we're going to go through the matchup with Boston a little bit down the road, but I'm going to talk about more about the Cats and how they are looking tonight. And then we have Samoskevich, Rodriguez, Boquist, and Greer, Cunnin, and Gadjevich on that bottom line right there. Our defensive pairings are the same. Nothing has changed there, except for obviously Kulikov is out. Mikkola is back in. He's not on the injury report, so that is very good news to get that big man back at 6'5", 6'6". So we need him on the ice. I think he's going to be a difference maker tonight. Look for Marchand to put up some big numbers. I think he's going to try to put on a show. I think he's going to try to take it to his other team. I think he's going to be physical. I think he's going to be the Rat, the new version. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. These are our special teams power play units. They've done some switching up here. This is where these changes, these moves have happened, is bigger here than in the 5-on-5. So power play 1 is Jones, Samoskevich, Lundell, Marchand, and Reinhart. Pretty interesting there. There's a lot of firepower on that line. And one thing I want to say about our 5-on-5 is I really hope Reinhart, Bennett, and Verhaeghe can start to find things because they are combined minus 19 on the season with a total of 4 goals and 2 assists in total for those 3 guys. So anyways, I could see the reason why he's trying to mix up these lines a little bit because you know what? There's more firepower there. The guys in that first power play have been putting it in the back of the net more, assisting more, just doing a better job clicking so far this season. And power play number 2, Ekblad, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, Luostarinen. Let's see how things go tonight. I think these could be very interesting power play units to be on the ice. I think it'll be a good test for this team to see how they're clicking. I mean, Samoskevich has been flying all over the place. So is Marchand. I think they'll do a great job of setting up Lundell and Reinhart. And I think Jones, he's been trying to throw those pucks at the net at will. So let's see if they can keep that up. And again, the name of the game tonight is don't be so reserved to hold on to the puck so long. Throw it at the net. You never know what will happen. That's what a lot of teams have been doing with the Cats. And again, every single team this season is going to give 110%. We are the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They're going to come at it right out of the gates. We cannot look at things and just be like, okay, well, whatever. It's they're not that good. Buffalo just kicked our tails. They killed us the other night. 3-0 shutout victory with Alex Lyon in net. They made us look silly. And we made them look great. And they came out and wanted to take it to us, and they did. It was an embarrassing loss. So anyways, that's our power play unit. Let's keep on rocking and rolling right now. So here we go. All of these numbers are showing you the guys on those lines. So right now, line number 1, Reinhart, Bennett, and Verhaeghe. Like I said, 4 goals, 2 assists, minus 19. David Marchand, Lundell, and Luostarinen, who are 5 goals, 6 assists, minus 9 on the season. So far, that has been our best line goals and assists-wise. Okay, line number 3, Mackie Samoskevich, Evan Rodriguez, and Jesper Boquist. They are 4 goals, 4 assists, and a +1 rating. So the plus-minus is better on our last 2 lines, which I'll give you the last one in just a second. And I hope our second line can match up with Boston's second line. I'll tell you who their lines are in a moment. But the last line, as you can see there, Greer, Gadjevich, and Cunnin, they're all going to be on the ice together. They have 1 goal, 3 assists, and a +3 rating so far this season. Not terrible, not great. The minus 19 to start that first line. I mean, obviously with the injuries that we have, it's killing us this season. Not having Barkov on that first line, which I really think balances things out, gives them better defensive capabilities, which lets Reinhart do his thing offensively. And on that second line, when we usually have Tkachuk out there with Bennett, usually that physicality, that mental edge that they have, it just doesn't seem like it's there. Bennett seems like a shell of a player from last season. Same thing with Reinhart. I've said this before, different style of play for every single guy on this team. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, the game has changed for these players. They are trying to find their identity. They're trying to find that swag that they had last year, that mental edge, that physicality. I know some people are like, well, being that physical is taking its toll on this team. Yes and no. You're without 4 key players. 4. Greer might be on that last line, but it doesn't matter. He's still on that top edge of the roster, that top 18 guys that we have, excluding the AHL players. That's what I'm saying. He is one of those key guys that is on one of those top 4 lines that we have. When you're missing any one of those pieces, the line is not the same. But when you're missing 3 guys, that's huge. One guy on the top line, one guy on the second line, one guy on your fourth line, it changes things. Big, especially when you've got probably one of the top 5 players in the league in Aleksander Barkov. So again, guys have to change their style of play. Reinhart, I think, is being more on the defensive than he is on the offensive front. And I think we can see it. And I know Bennett has just been like, where is he? Where is he? He's been MIA. I hope he shows up tonight. I really hope he shows up tonight and that first line starts kicking the caca out of Boston. But it's going to be tough because the Bruins, well, first of all, let's go through this. These are the expected goals above. We are last in the league at minus 6.8. That's pretty ugly. I think we were to start the season at like 5 3/4 or 6 1/4, something along those lines. We are so far below where we should be. But the goals will pick up. In the past 2 seasons, very similar kind of starts, a little bit better in the expected goals and goal scoring for the first 8 games. This year has been one of the tougher ones. Just our offense has been non-existent. Our special teams has kind of died out. The only good thing that has happened literally is our goaltending has been outstanding. So let's keep going. This is what Boston. This is what we're looking at. Pastrnak. Oh, man, he's having a good season so far. 4 goals and 4 assists on the season. 8 points, but a -3. We also have, you can see there, Pavel Zacha is having a great season too. 1 goal, 5 assists. I mean, you can see it there. So I'm going to go over these lines right now and kind of see how our matchup is. So their first line tonight is going to be Pasta, Geeky, and Lindholm. They have 8 goals, 9 assists on the season with a -7 rating. So I'm a little worried about that matchup with our guys versus theirs. I don't know how Bennett, Reinhart, and Verhaeghe can be physical. I mean, I think they're a little bit bigger on that first line for Boston. If they could be a little more physical, a little bit quicker on their skates and better on the forecheck, I think we got them. But Pastrnak is rolling this season. He's going to be a little bit of that, hey, we got to really keep our tabs on him. It's got to be more of that man-to-man situation that we're going to have to play, and their guys are going to have their heads on swivels tonight in their defensive third and make sure they know where each one of these guys are, because if not, we're going to be in trouble. And their defensemen have been playing well this year as well. They've been scoring. So we need to keep our eyes out. Line number 2, Middlestat, Zacha, Arvidsson. That is going to be another good line. They have 3 goals, 6 assists, and -2 rating on the season. They are going to be going up against our big number, Lucianen, Lundell, and Marchand, who have been 5, 6, and -9 on the year. So we kind of bested them so far this season, just by 2 goals this season. The plus-minus not as good for us, but I think they're going to find, our second line is going to find their footing tonight and really be able to take it to this Boston Bruins team, because I think Marshy is out there to prove a point and say, hey, you guys traded away the wrong person. You shouldn't have done that. You should have come to agreement with me, signed me long-term, but you didn't want to do it. So their third line, Jeannot, Minton, and Esimon. 4 goals, 2 assists, -9 rating. Again, I think our third line will match up better than theirs with Samoskevich, Rodriguez, and who was it again? Boquist, I believe. If I have that wrong, I apologize. We go back to that again. So sorry, guys. Yes, Boquist. My apologies that I had to go back. So we match up a little bit better than they do, and their fourth line is Vail, Curley, and Kustalic. I'm not sure who it is. They have 3 goals, 3 assists, +11 rating when they are out there. So they have been firing on all cylinders. I don't know how our fourth line is going to match up with theirs. They might have the killer edge because we just have 1, 3, and +3 rating on the ice. So interesting matchups tonight. Those are the lines right now. They're the defensive pairings, as you can see. And McAvoy and Laurie have been very serious out there. And Lindholm, Piki, and Zadorov, as well as Jokijaru Joki Harju, I think that's how you say it. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize the first time I'm seeing that name. It's going to be a good game tonight. It's going to be entertaining, a lot of energy in the building, a lot of emotions out there. I'm looking at the Panthers because they've actually had the 2 days off, and so they've got a little more rest under their belt, and I think they needed it. I'm going to go through a few notes right here really quickly because right now the Cats have had 7 games in 10.5 days. It's a lot of hockey to be playing, not a lot of rest. And this is what Paul had to say. He says, it's a factor, not an excuse. It's the National League, and you've got to play through it. But we looked like we were behind a little bit in our last couple of games. We were missing a bit of that pop, and definitely were. So our 4.53 expected goals for Florida, well, that was non-existent in the last 4 games, especially against Alex Lyon, who made us look ridiculous. So those changes that I just talked about for our special teams and for our top 4 lines for 5-on-5 play, interesting moves. I like them a lot. I think we're going to come out of the gates firing here. And as for Brad Marchand, to kind of wrap things up here, after 16 seasons of playing in Boston, he left them racking up 976 points, 422 goals, 554 assists in 1,090 career games in Boston. One heck of a career there, and now he's starting a new one. Well, started a new one last season here in Florida, and has been great. And Bob is going to be in between the pipes right now. He has a 3.20 record, 2.02 goals against, and a 917 save percentage. He will go up against Jeremy Swayman, and Jeremy Swayman has 2-2 this season with a 917 save percentage. And again, the Boston Bruins and the Cats have the same exact record. And this is something that Paul Maurice had to say on the rivalry. He remembers it, especially in 2023, when we did the impossible, which was beat the best team to ever play in the regular season, the Boston Bruins that year. I can't remember the point total, but they broke it in the regular season with points. Best team to ever play in the regular season. The Cats ousted them and did it again the following season in 2024. So this is Paul Maurice on the rivalry with Boston. He says, game 1 of this series 3 years ago was the heaviest I've ever been a part of. I think there were 85 hits. That was the starting point. And I think Boston Bruins taught us how to win in that series, how to stay in the fight, how to scratch and claw. It became the style of game that we adopted over the next few years. And here's Anton Lundell on the power play and how it has been a little bit of a thorn in the Cats' side, and they haven't been able to produce. It goes on stretches. Sometimes it just doesn't go in, but we don't quit. We want to be better. For myself, I'm just trying to be my best. I know I have a lot to give. Just believe in the process and go day to day tomorrow. We have a new opportunity to be good. And here's Paul Maurice on Nico Mikkola is leaving Saturday's game with an upper body injury, just to let you guys know how he is doing. We're careful about all kinds of injuries. Good to have him back. He plays hard every night and always has an ice bag on something. He was fine the next day after he exited the game. So, last 5 stats to show you. The Panthers are 2-1-0 when scoring first in the season so far this year. AJ Greer has a team-high 24 hits. Sam Miskevich is second on the team with 19 shots on goal. Lundell has tallied a team-high 3 points on the power play. And Sam Reinhart has scored 9 goals in his last 10 games against Boston. So, some good numbers there. I hope they end up racking up the W tonight because we need it, and we get back on the board points-wise and move up the Atlantic Division standings. So let's hope the Cats have a good one tonight. They put on a show in Boston and end up kicking the snot out of them, and Marchand has a good homecoming, and they end up cheering for him at the end of the night, even though he puts Boston in the L column. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. I will see you guys tomorrow with a little post-game analysis, and go Cats. Let's get those Bruins. Beat them down tonight.